right, folks, let's settle this once and for all, or at least until the next campfire argument. We're talking Ruger Mini-14 versus the AR-15. Yeah, I know. It's a debate that's probably older than some of you reading this. Both these rifles have been slinging lead for a good while. The AR-15, that old dog, has been around since about 1956, and the military picked it up as the M16 back in '62. Then you got the Ruger Mini-14, which popped onto the scene in 1973. And get this. It was cooked up by Bill Ruger himself and Jim Sullivan, and Sullivan was one of the brains behind the M16. Small world, ain't it? The Mini-14 definitely took some cues from those legends, the M1 Garand and M14. Rifles known for being tougher than a $2 steak. Now, the AR-15 gets a lot of the limelight, kind of like that flashy new quarterback. But I'm here to tell you why the good old Mini-14 might just be the unsung hero you're looking for. Looks aren't everything, but let's be honest. The Mini-14 is the wallflower at the dance compared to the AR-15. It's got that classic, almost FUD look, more like your grandpa's deer rifle than something you'd see in a video game. And why's that a good thing? Well, in these interesting times, a rifle that screams military can get you some sideways glances, whether you're at the range or just minding your own business. The Mini-14, though, it just blends in. That can be a huge plus if you like to keep things low-key or live somewhere. The folks get a bit twitchy about assault weapons. Speaking from experience, your nosy neighbor, Mrs. Kravitz, is a lot less likely to dial 911 if she sees you loading a Mini-14 into your truck than if it's your tricked-out AR. And hey, who doesn't love a rifle that's got that timeless, understated cool? Don't let the tame looks fool you, though. This rifle can still get the job done, and done well. Built like a brick Altho. Well, you know, if you need a rifle that'll take a lickin' and keep on tickin', the Mini-14 is your huckleberry. It's built tough, plain and simple. Now, both these platforms have had their hiccups. The early M16s had some drama when the Army messed with the powder in the 5.56 rounds, causing some reliability headaches. And to make it worse, they told the poor grunts it was self-cleaning and didn't even issue cleaning kits at first. Can you imagine? This is where the Mini-14 really shines. It's a breeze to maintain. It uses a gas piston system, kind of like an AK, which runs a whole lot cleaner than the AR-15's direct impingement system. Think of it like this: the AR poops where it eats. The Mini-14, it's a bit more civilized. So, when your AR starts getting fussy with a bit of dust or mud, the Mini-14 just keeps on chugging. That's why ranchers love them for coyote control, and why it's a solid choice for anyone who needs a rifle that just works out in the boonies. The AR-15 system blows hot gas and carbon right back into the bolt and chamber. Now, some folks will tell you it's not a huge deal, but it definitely makes things dirtier, faster. The Mini-14 keeps all that gunk separate, meaning less scrubbing for you and a happier rifle, even if you've been dragging it through the muck. If you'd rather spend your time shooting than scraping carbon, the Mini-14 is calling your name. Oh, and another neat trick up its sleeve: cold hammer-forged barrel. Fancy words that mean it's tough and going to last you a long, long time. Plus, you can get them in stainless steel right from the factory. Perfect if you live where it's humid enough to rust a rubber ducky or near the coast. Not totally rust-proof, mind you, but it's a nice touch. Now, I've heard some grumbles about Mini-14 reliability. Most of that comes down to folks using cheap, junky aftermarket magazines. Stick with Ruger factory mags, and you'll be golden. Don't cheap out here. Friends. Beyond that, both these rifles are pretty darn reliable. Size matters. Sometimes, here's a fun fact, the Mini-14 can actually be a bit handier. A standard fixed stock Mini-14 is about the same length and weight as a basic M4 style AR, like a Colt 6920. But here's the kicker. The Mini-14's recoil spring is up front, not in the stock like an AR. That means you can put a shorter stock on it, or even a folder. Remember the A-Team van? Ruger even made a factory folding stock that looks straight off their rifles. Not sure if they still do. But man, those were cool. And even though it can be shorter overall, the Mini-14 actually has a longer sight radius than your typical AR-15. Both have the rear sight way back, but the Mini's front sight is parked almost at the end of the barrel. Your M4's front sight is usually stuck at the end of the handguard. Even with a mid-length gas system on an AR, the Mini-14 still wins on sight radius. Little things like that can make a difference. Let's talk turkey. And dollars. The age-old question. Which one's easier on the wallet? It kind of depends on how you slice it. Can you find a decent AR-15 for under $1,000? Sure, but decent can mean different things to different people. Plenty of folks won't touch an AR unless it's from a high-dollar brand that'll set you back $2,000 or more. A new Mini-14 will probably run you around $1,000. But if you're patient and keep an eye out, you can snag a barely used one for way less. With the Mini-14, you're getting a rifle that's built to last. With fewer tiny parts, you gotta worry about swapping out or upgrading. For a lot of us, that simplicity is a big plus. Factor in the reliability and how easy it is to use, and the Mini-14 often ends up being a smarter buy in the long run. Stock options galore. Here's another area where the Mini-14 has a leg up. Stocks. The AR-15 needs that buffer tube sticking out the back for the stock to attach to. The Mini-14, nope. No buffer tube means it's perfect for folding stocks. Ruger's factory folder was a hit, and now Samson makes them under license from Ruger. And let me tell you, they are sweet. Folds up nice and tight, but still comfy to shoot when it's open. The pistol grip helps with control, too. Even the standard stocks are solid. Mine came with a black synthetic one, which is tough, but about as exciting as watching paint dry. I snagged a wood factory stock from a buddy, and man, it just feels right. So yeah, the Mini-14 can be shorter, easier to pack, and just plain handier thanks to those stock options. So, why the Mini-14? Look, the AR-15 is a fine rifle, but why do I think the Mini-14 is often the better choice? It's simpler. It's generally more reliable in crappy conditions, and it doesn't scream, "Look at me." It's for the folks who want a dependable, no BS rifle that just works. Whether you're chasing critters, protecting your homestead, or just plinking cans at the range. It might not have the tactical insta-fame of the AR, but it's got that rugged, classic charm that's hard to beat. End of the day, it's your money and your choice. But if you ask me, the Ruger Mini-14 deserves a heck of a lot more respect than it gets. What do you guys think? You team Mini-14 or team AR-15? Let me know.